Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are going to have a look at one of the weirder models that Games Workshop's made recently. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by Dungeons & Lasers Encounters, so we'll have a little chat about that at the end, but before then, we've got to take a look at the Delaque Spyker, because what the hell is going on with this? This is one of those models where I saw it show up on Twitter, and I had the immediate range of, like, just the full range of emotions. What am I looking at? Why does it look like that? I think I love it. Do I love it? Or is it just weird enough that it's, like, hitting that sweet spot of the brain? Is it kind of resembling a testicle as much as I think it is? Or is that just me being weird? Well, I mean, we can find out together. So, this is the Delaque Spyker. Now, one thing I will say about this, in terms of just the design as a whole. I looked at this, and I know nothing of Delaque. I'm not a big Necromunda person. I don't have an in-depth knowledge of what all the different gangs do and how they... I have a vague idea, but I don't have any of the lore down, for instance. I looked at that and immediately went, that sucks for that guy. That's horrific. That's clearly a psyker that is being injected with something to improve their psychic ability, and it doesn't look like they really want that to be the case, but that's what's happening. 100% psychic nonsense going on there. And that is exactly what it is. The Delaque Spyker, they take someone who has a bit of psychic potential, and then they inject them full of ghast, which I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it doesn't sound great, let's be honest. And eventually they become this, with a massively swollen head. I am mostly joking about the head looking a bit like a testicle. Mostly. Overall, oh man, I don't even know. Overall, I think I really like this, but it feels really weird even by Necromunda standards, right? Necromunda, when it comes to the models, is a really interesting game because they have such a wild variety of stuff that is relatively pedestrian, all the way up to like robotic flying octopus creatures. So you've got like a real spread. Here are some clearly like Judge Dredd inspired law enforcement officers with shotguns, and this right here is a bounty hunter that looks like a potato floating in the air with some robotic arms sticking out of what I think is his stomach, but I don't really know. There is a wide spread of looks, of aesthetics, of just general approaches in Necromunda, which is one of the things that I find most interesting about it, and one of the things I like most about the model range. But even by those standards, this is weird to me. Now, maybe it's just me, but this is really weird to me. The thing is, though, weird isn't necessarily bad, and I'm not going to say that this is a bad model, because I don't think it is. I think it's perhaps a little cartoony in places, but also quite horrific in places as well. It's like a weird mix of, you've got this almost... what's the name of it? Is it Megamind? The character. You've kind of got this almost stylized, cartoony kind of version of the swollen head going on, but then you can also see the things that are injecting it, which kind of takes away from that a bit. It's like, look at him, he's got a big head. Oh god, those are needles next to his big head. There's like a nice little dissonance going on there, where you can look at it and go, that's a bit goofy, and then go, oh, that's also quite horrific at the same time. I think I like that balance. Also, things like the fact that it looks like a massive psychic hood that's going around the head. It is a nice touch. You can see, I mean, this is how it's been painted more than how it's been modelled, but you can see where some of those, I forget what they're called, like the little patches that you stick onto skin, and they've got a wire that shows, it just measures something or reads something. You got those in certain places on the head. The fact that, like, this, like, bruising and broken blood vessels have been painted around that, again, just adds to the awful. Like, that does not look comfortable. That does not look like something you would ever get used to. It just looks horrific. A bit silly, but also quite horrific. The overall construction of this, like, cape slash potentially life support machine, given the state of the guy, and portable injection deliverer, I do like it. You can see you've got the cables that are running down from under the cloak. I'm not sure whether this guy is floating because Spyker, or because of some sort of effect generated by those almost like transistor slash resistor looking things coming out of the cloak. I don't know which it is, but I do like the way they've shaped the cloak so that it's hanging down on each side. That's quite a nice touch. It also means it looks quite stable, which is nice. Yeah, they're like little details like the cables going on the inside of the cloak. You've got those massive cables coming around the front of the hood. I like it a lot. It's really weird. It just feels like super bizarre to me. But on the other hand, there's a lot to like about it. There's some little details from the back as well, right? So something I really like is like asymmetrical design. So if you look at the back of this big collar hood thing, something I like is that it's not even. It's not symmetrical. It's not like a mirrored thing. So you've got like, oh, there's 2 tubes on one side, so there's 2 on the other side. No, it's a bit more like slapdash than that. And I like that because it makes it feel like it's something that's been altered over time. So when you see something that is just something that is symmetrical, that looks the same on both sides, it looks like it's been designed that way, it looks like it's been built that way, and that's just how it is. When it's something like this, you've got that kind of central port, then you've got one that's slightly up and to the left, you've got another one that's similar, but it's further down on the right, you've got an uneven number of those kind of like liquid injectors in different places, so you could just have all 4 at the top, and then it would look more symmetrical. But no, you've got one on the bottom left, one top right, one slightly along from it. Like, it's not an even placement of anything. I much prefer that because it feels more like something that has been constantly altered or improved or changed to deal with things that have happened to it, or to deal with issues that have arisen from the person that's been plugged into it. I much prefer that. Little details like that I just feel they make it more characterful. Also, the belts on the back of the cloak, so you can see that there's like buckles on the front of the model, and it looks like those all kind of lead to this 3-belted system on the back so that they're permanently like attached to it. I really like that. I like that a lot. That kind of continuation of the detail on the front to the back. It could have just been that the belt's attached to the inside of the cloak, but this looks cooler, this looks more interesting, and it kind of breaks up that kind of cloth at the bottom compared to all the busyness at the top. Just lots of little details that I really like about this. Now, there is some artwork down here, and while I do like this artwork, and I do think it's kind of cool, I much prefer what they've done in terms of the model, to be honest. The artwork is cool, and the artwork is really creepy. It is very creepy. I'd argue that's actually creepier than the model is. But this, I feel like you're not going to have a gang that is absolutely full of these things. This feels like a bit more of a centerpiece thing when it comes to a low model count skirmish game. Something like this being on the board, this has a lot of presence. It has a lot of personality. And while this does have the personality, I don't think it's as immediately impressive as that is. Like, I feel like you put that down, you immediately know that stuff's weird and stuff's going to go down. It's definitely a bizarre model. It's definitely really strange, but I do like it. Now, let's have a quick chat about Dungeons & Lasers encounters. So, you already know that I'm a big fan of Archon Studios. You know that I like the Dungeons & Lasers stuff they do. I have a lot of it. I have a lot more now because they sent me a box and it arrived today, and good lord, my pile of shame has just increased by a scary amount. But they're going into the wilds. They're doing Dungeons & Lasers encounters for their next project, which is on GameFound. So, the Dungeons & Lasers encounters campaign begins tomorrow on GameFound, so on the 14th of June. So if you head over there right now and click the follow button, if you follow and you do a €99 pledge, you will receive an 80mm Leshy miniature. As always with the Dungeons & Lasers stuff, there's going to be plenty of stretch goals. Each starter pledge is going to receive a Tarask model. They're going to be offering neoprene gaming mats available as add-ons. In terms of prices, you've got a €99 starter pledge, which contains 2 encounter sets of your choice, plus stretch goals, plus the Tarask. And for €149 Adventurers pledge, you've got 4 encounter sets, plus the stretch goals and the Tarask. Not only that, the sets available from the previous Kickstarter will also be available for this one as well. Over the coming weeks, we'll have a little chat about what the different sets look like, but in the meantime, head over to GameFound and click the follow button so you can keep up to date with it. Now, the question for you is, what do you think of the Delaque Spyker? Good, bad, love it, hate it, too weird, or not weird enough? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. Thank you to Dungeons & Lasers Encounters for sponsoring the video, and as always, you can find an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like to do. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.